All right, high rollers, our guest today is Douglas Smith, president of the Casino Chip and Gaming Token Collectors Club. Doug, welcome to the show, man. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the chance to talk to you.
You've got a big convention coming up in Las Vegas, right? It's called the Greatest Casino Collectible Show on Earth. I love that name. This is the place to be, right, if you're a gaming collector?
Oh, it definitely is. It is a once-a-year show, and it is the place to be in Vegas, June 23rd through 25th.
I'm wondering if you get a lot of poker players. We interview several poker players, a lot of big names, and that's right smack dab in the World Series of Poker. Do you get a lot of poker players wandering over?
Not as much as we'd like to. I mean, it's great that we happen to have our convention every year right around the World Series of Poker time frame. A lot of our players, our members, play poker, but as far as the big names, not a ton of them. I think they're pretty busy over at the Rio.
Before we talk about what we're going to find at the convention, I was checking out the website today, which is www.ccgtcc.com. You guys have some events going on in conjunction with the convention as well, outside of the collectibles. I see you got a blackjack tournament. You've also got a poker tournament set up.
Yeah, the convention for us is a lot more than just the chip show. It's basically an event. It's a 4-day event. We have a banquet. We have tournaments, both blackjack and poker tournaments. We have seminars, an auction. There's all kinds of things going on all week long.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to find at the chip show. I mean, I can imagine some of the vintage gambling collectibles on display. What are we going to find there? We're going to find some magazines, some chips, some tokens, right?
You're going to find basically everything that has everything and anything that's got a casino name on it. We have people who collect dice, matchbooks, playing cards, bars of soap. It's mostly going to be chips and tokens, but pretty much anything you could imagine that has a casino name on it, we've got members who collect it.
How did you get involved in this, Doug? How did you become a collector?
I think it basically started through poker playing. I used to play a lot of players. In fact, I still do play a lot of poker all over the world, and just started bringing home a chip as a souvenir, and it rolled into something big.
Yeah, so let's talk about how big this is, because I imagine once you get involved, a hobby can turn into an obsession, and you've got to find the right collectibles. There's so much out there to choose from. How do you narrow down your choice? I mean, you've got to go for the rare items, right?
Well, everyone's got their own area. You know, that's one of the main problems that everyone has when they first start collecting is they try to collect everything. And you quickly realize that there's just so many tens of thousands of different, even just chips out there alone. I try to tell people you probably should try to specialize in a certain area. I've got several areas that I collect, but some people collect riverboat chips, some people collect Vegas chips, some people collect a certain denomination, like maybe a $5 chip from everywhere, and that's really the way to go, is try to specialize in a certain area.
Well, I've got a guy on Twitter who follows us, Andy Hughes, and he's the one who informed me about this convention. He sent me a large display of photos from his collection, and he likes things from the Desert Inn.
Some people take it very seriously, and collecting from a certain area, like a specific casino, is a really great theme to go after, especially if you have some affinity to that casino. Say you got married there or had a vacation there, and it just brings back memories and something that really hits home.
Now, is this about preserving the history of the game? Is this one of your goals?
It is. That's the basic theme behind our Collectibles Club. You know, we're a registered 501c3 educational organization, and our main goal is to preserve gaming history, to teach people about the history of the items and where they come from, and try to keep that history alive.
What's your experience with respect to that, keeping history alive? Do you think it's being done enough? Do you think people recall the good old times of Las Vegas enough? I can imagine some of the conversations that go on at this show.
We try to do our best. You know, Las Vegas is a kind of a weird place because it's one of the only towns that seems to be destroying their history constantly and recreating itself. As all the old casinos come down and they put up all the new ones, things change. One of our goals of the club is a project called the Museum of Gaming History. So we're trying to get a museum, preferably in the Vegas area, to display historical items and basically keep everyone aware, keep it alive, the history of Las Vegas and gaming in general.
I think that's so important, and I think it's a natural fit. I mean, why hasn't that happened yet?
It's happened to small degrees. I mean, you can go to things like the Mob Museum, which is a fantastic museum in Vegas. We have a couple of displays there, in fact, on chips, but Gaming is a big part of history that really needs to be out there. Needs to help people be aware of where we started, where we came from. I mean, this goes way back before the Vegas times. Most of these people came from illegal card rooms in Kentucky and Galveston, in Chicago, the mobs of Chicago. All that happened prior to the Vegas scene even happening.
One of the things on the website, again, www.ccgtcc.com, is the fact that you provide a lot of resources for collectors. You're letting them know about some of the things that go up for sale, some of the things that are fake. You also explain the difference between a chip and a token. What is the difference between a chip and a token, by the way?
A token is basically a metallic disc similar to a coin. They're basically designed to go into a slot machine, whereas a chip is historically a clay piece that's used for gambling on a table like blackjack or poker. So that's how we really determine the difference between what a chip and a token is.
People can go to your website, get some information. If someone's just starting out, they've been to a casino, and they like the chip they saw there, and they want to start collecting, they've got to realize that there are fakes out there, correct?
There are fakes out there, just like any other collectible industry. You need to be a little bit careful. There's probably a lot fewer fakes in the chip collecting world than there is in things like baseball cards or stamps or coins, just because the dollar values, for the most part, are a lot less than some of the other collectibles.
I read about the Showboat chip selling on eBay for 30 grand. I mean, that's an unbelievable story.
Well, that is an unbelievable story, but that's far from the top chip that sold. We've had chips that have record sales of over 100,000. In fact, 2 years ago at the convention, we had a chip sell for 75,000, and another one sell for close to 50,000 in the same week.
Wow. And where are these chips from, and what made them special?
Chips are a lot like coins, where there's a lot of different factors that go into them. The biggest factor is going to be rarity. A lot of these places were only open a short period of time, or the chip issue was only out on the table a short period of time. So it has a lot to do with the location, the rarity, the denomination, and also how pretty it looks, how colorful, and the history behind it. So just because a chip is old, from a place like, for example, the Dunes is a very historical place, and there's chips that are from there that are very low value, because what happened is when the Dunes closed, they sold out their entire rack of chips. So there's hundreds of thousands of these chips out there, and that makes it not that high valued as a collectible. Where there's other places that were only open a couple of months, very few chips got out, and those are highly sought after items.
So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for, I guess it's got a lot to do with what happens in Vegas, right? A hotel opens, it shuts down, but they've got some chips. I mean, bang, that might be the holy grail.
That is, and Vegas is really the holy grail of collecting. I mean, there's chips from all over the world. I collect places from everywhere, Atlantic City, from all over Europe, but Vegas is the key and hottest collectible out there because of all the history, and that's where people pretty much associate gaming with.
What's the most expensive item you've ever seen sold or read about in terms of a gaming collectible?
Probably there's some early Flamingo Bugsy era, 1940 late 40s chips from the when Bugsy Siegel owned the Flamingo, that are upwards of the $100,000 range. But then there's also chips I saw recently. There was an auction. I think Potter and Potter had an auction that one of our members put up there. He had some chips, personal chips that were made for Napoleon. Who knows what those things will bring? They're one of a kind, hand engraved ivory chips that are just incredible.
Yeah, so these are not just Las Vegas chips. I mean, you mentioned earlier there's chips from all over the world, and again, it comes down to how they look and how rare they are and what makes them special to the collector.
Exactly. I mean, I have a lot of personal collections of my own, but one of my favorites is our plaques, which you rarely see in Las Vegas. Those are the kind of things you'll see James Bond playing with on TV. They're mostly European issue. A lot of the from the UK, from Spain, France, and they're nice rectangular pieces that are usually very colorful. They have lunettes so you can see through. They're just really attractive to me.
Now, we've talked about the good-looking chips. I'm sure there are some that are not so attractive, and you must just shake your head when a casino comes along and offers out these chips that aren't so pretty to look at.
We talk about that quite a bit in the club because casinos issue new chips pretty much every week. Things come out different. Another casino's issuing another chip, and it seems to be that they're just not spending the money that they used to in the old days, and they're putting out really cheap-looking casino chips that have very little design to them these days. There's very few really nice-looking chips that come out.
I mean, when you think about it, that's one of the key marketing tools they've got because people are holding them, looking at them all day long, and trying to accumulate them.
It is, and a couple of casinos really cashed in on these. Starting 10, 15 years ago, casinos like the Four Queens and the Palms, boy, they were putting out chips, limited edition chips, every week. Same thing with the Hard Rock. Unfortunately, what happened is they flooded the market. There was so many of those things that came out. Four Queens was doing chips to commemorate, Tax Day and Arbor Day and dogs and pretty much everything. But that was a great money-making opportunity for them because they know they could make a chip that cost them about $1 a piece to make, and people will walk out of the casino paying face value $5, $25, even $100 for a chip.
Any weird collections you've seen in terms of the gambling or casino industry? I mean, there's all kinds of things to collect out there. Some people must have strange ones.
There are some really strange ones. I collect a couple of things that I don't think are that strange. I collect unopened champagne bottles from casinos, specifically earlier 70s and earlier from Vegas. I've got, being a cigar smoker, I collect cigars from casinos. I've seen people that collect toilet seats. I know one person that even collected I think there was unopened urinal cakes that had casino names on them.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. The people collect silverware, slot glass, pretty much anything that you could think of that has a casino name on it, people will collect.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
It definitely is.
I mentioned Andy Hughes earlier. He's the one who informed me about your convention. He sent me a magazine cover that from his collection, 1979 Gambling Times, with Hal Fowler, a world champion of poker, who won the world championship and then essentially went missing. I mean, that's a rare item, and I love that. I think I would go the magazine route because, I mean, you've got the cover, you've got the artwork, and you've got all that information inside.
Magazines are a great thing. One of the other things I really like to collect, I collect slot glass, vintage Vegas slot glass, because they're beautiful pictures, and they were the ones that originally on the machines. Most of them have the casino names on them, but magazines and photos, a lot of people do those too. There's some great vintage Vegas photos out there.
It's at the South Point. You've got a good relationship with them?
Yeah, we've been at the South Point. I think this is our 7th or 8th year at the South Point. We just renewed the contract for another 2 years. This will be our 24th convention. We've been at numerous places prior to this, at the Riv, at the Trop, at the Orleans. We started at the Aladdin. But the South Point is an absolutely fabulous location and place. There's I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a one-stop shopping.
So for anybody that's on the fence about this, that does have a collection, wants to get into it, is thinking about going, what would you tell them? I mean, come on down, right? Because this is where you meet like-minded folks.
It is an experience or really an event to experience for anybody who collects or is even thinking about collecting casino collectibles. You'll meet people from all walks of life. We have specialists and experts in pretty much every field, so there's tons of people to talk to. And it's really, for somebody like myself who collected numerous years before I even found out that there was other people like me, it's really an eye-opening experience to walk into a room with hundreds and thousands of people who actually collect the same things you do.
Again, it's at the South Point. When is it, Doug?
It is June 23rd through 25th. We have, you mentioned registering. For the next couple of days, we close our pre-registration, which is basically a little package that we offer to everybody where you can register for all 3 days, but you can also register in person by day. I think the fees this year, it's $10 if you come on Thursday, $5 on Friday, and free to everybody on Saturday.
Douglas Smith is the president of the Casino Chip and Gaming Token Collectors Club. The convention in June, the chip show, all the collectibles you want. You got to check it out at the South Point. Doug, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me.